Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Tieya, and I am here today to teach you all a nice prenatal yoga flow that's going to target your hips. So I know a lot of you all out here who are pregnant, whether you're moms or birthing individuals, you may be experiencing some tightness in these hip flexors, your inner thighs, or even your hamstrings. So I'm going to show you a few quick and easy things you can do to alleviate that hip tightness. Now, for this practice, you're going to need a few goodies. So we have blocks here. You would benefit from 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can use thick books. If you have a bolster, you would benefit from a bolster. And of course, if you don't have a bolster, you can use couch cushion, anything that's bulky. You can even roll up some blankets and put them into a nice firm taco shape. And then we have some sandbags here. Everyone may not have this weighted object. This is not necessary, but it would be helpful to make you feel nice and cozy. And finally, a blanket. A blanket is going to be helpful for our knees when we get on our hands and knees, as well as to sit and prop ourselves up on. And as you can see, I'm propped up on this blanket here. All right. So without further ado, we're going to get started with our flow. Oh, one more thing. This bump here, I'm not expecting. I just wanted to be in the spirit of pregnancy today. All right. Now, I invite everyone to come to a nice, comfortable seated position. You can choose easy seated position, or feel free to come into hero's pose. If your knees are a little cranky, you can even extend them out. Now I invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze downward and begin to just take notice of your natural breath. Try not to change up anything. Try to just breathe at your natural pace. As you breathe in and out, begin to take notice of the depth of your breath, how deep, how shallow, and also take notice of the speed in which you are breathing. You might even notice the temperature of the air coming in and out of your nostrils. Now, at this time, we're going to deepen our natural breath. And because we have a little visitor with us, let's go ahead and bring the baby into the practice. So place your hands along your bump, if you'd like. And on that next breath, we're going to slowly deepen our natural breath and let the belly just kind of relax and expand. And as you exhale, let the belly just return to its natural position. Again, we're going to inhale, belly's going to expand into our hands, giving the room to the baby. And then exhale, allow that belly to return. Now, I'd like you to envision a light, and this light is going to be surrounding your baby. And as you breathe, your light is going to travel down into the pelvic floor, allowing the pelvic floor to stretch and expand in preparation for delivery. And as you exhale, that light's going to travel right back up and wrap all around baby, providing a nice, cozy environment. Let's try that one more time. Inhale. Imagine that light traveling down past baby into the pelvic floor, into the seat, and expanding those muscles. And then exhale, allowing that light to travel back and surround baby. Now, we're going to return to our natural breath and prepare for a little movement. At this time, I'd like you all to join me in a tabletop position. So if you have your blanket, this might be a great time to bring it under your knees if you have sensitive knees. So I'm going to turn sideways so you all can see. And in our tabletop position, I want you to bring your hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips, and spread those fingers nice and wide. And here we're going to drop into a cat-cow. And gently, I want you to inhale and drop that belly down. And try not to go too far into this position. We don't want to overextend our belly. And then we're going to exhale and round the back, allowing the head to fall. But again, try not to curl into baby too much. This may be 25% of your regular range of motion. Again, inhale, drop that belly. And then exhale, round that back. Now, what we're going to do now, we're going to get into the hips a little bit more. So I would like for you all to extend your knees a little bit wider than your blanket or your mat, bringing your feet together. And we're going to drop our hips back toward the right side, almost as if you were going into child's pose. Then round the hips around the middle, bring them around to the left side, and then back to the start position. We're going to keep that going once more in this direction, bringing those hips around to the right, along the back, and around to that opposite side. Now we're going to pause here in the neutral position, and we're going to reverse the order, bringing our hips over to the left side, around, and then to the right. And then we're going to repeat that once more in this direction. Hips go over to the left, around, and then to the right. Now, from here, we're going to get into those inner thighs a little bit, but I want to turn and face you all. So I'm going to bring myself in this direction. And what we're going to do now, we're going to get into our groin muscle, our inner thigh muscle. So we're going to extend our left leg out to the side. Now, for this position, some people may be a little tight and may not enjoy a straight knee. So feel free to bend into that knee if being straight is not comfortable for you. Otherwise, you're going to have that knee nice and straight. And if you need to, feel free to go onto the arch of your foot instead of pushing down through the sole. And in this next position, we're just going to rock our hips back, similar to what we just did. Finding your sweet spot, but again, watching out for belly so you don't want to go too far back. If you needed to, you could also place a little bit of support under your inner thigh if you wanted to make this more restorative. You can take your bolster and maybe allow yourself the ability to settle back into a nice restorative posture. Okay. Now we're going to bring the left knee back. We're going to repeat that on the right side. Inhale, dropping those hips back. Exhale, hips come forward. One more time. Drop those hips back. And then hips will come forward. Now, bring that right knee back into tabletop. And from here, what we're going to do is we're going to make our way down to our bottom. So we're going to come into a 45-45 position. And what that looks like, your front shin is going to be in a angled position in front of your body with the foot close to the thigh. The back leg is going to be actually turned back into that same posture toward the back. Now, in this position, everyone may not have this range of motion, so feel free to bring a block onto the side of you so that you can use that to shift your weight more neutral. But if you don't need that, you can just place your hand onto the floor. If you have more space here, you could always bring that shin even further away from the body, and the same thing for the back. When you're in this position, you are getting a nice big stretch into those hips, both your hip internal and external rotators. And those muscles are good in preparation for delivery. So we're going to take a nice breath here. And first, we're just going to actually place our blocks in front of us and inhale in. As we exhale, we're going to gently lean forward and allow our hands to meet our blocks, making room for baby so we're not compressing. Take another breath here. And then gently push back. Now, what I'd like to do now is we're going to invite those who do have a more deeper practice to find their way into their version of pigeon. Now, with being pregnant, we have to be very cautious of where our belly is at any given point. So we don't want to compress. So what we'll do is with that bolster that you have, place that bolster right on top of those blocks. And from your 90-90 position, you can shift your left leg back and allow your hands to rest on top of the bolster as you sink back into the position. And don't worry, I'm going to turn to the side in just a moment to let you see what this looks like. And as you inhale, you're going to inhale in and exhale. Inhale again and exhale. Now, for some, you can also bring yourself down to your forearms as long as you have space for baby, okay? Now, I'm going to shift back onto my bottom. We're going to prepare for the opposite side. And on that side, what I'm going to do is turn my position so you can see me along the side view. So now we are going to allow ourselves to be in either 45-45, so the foot's closer in, or 90-90 to start. We're going to take a nice inhale in, exhale, leaning forward onto your blocks. Remembering to breathe. And if you'd like to go deeper, as we mentioned before, we can turn this into our pigeon. You bring that right leg behind you to whatever depth works best for you. Now, here in pigeon, everyone may not love this position. You can bring the floor up to you from the bottom as well by placing a blanket, fold it over into any area that is not in contact with your mat. And let's just take a nice breath in. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Now let's gently come out of this, just shifting our weight over to our bottom, moving any props out of the way. And now we are going to prepare for our final resting posture. We're going to prepare for a nice queen throne. But we're going to add a little bit of flair to it by placing ourselves in a nice butterfly stretch at the same time, so we still get into those inner thigh muscles. Now, for a queen's throne, as you can see, I already have my setup here. If you have bolster and blocks, you're going to place your blocks in a position where they are cascaded, one in front of the other. The bolster will then be placed just like this one along the cascade of blocks. I am positioned in front of a wall, which is even better because it gives even more stability. Place a blanket here in front so that you can have a nice cozy seated position. If you have the sandbags, you can actually go ahead and position your legs in butterfly. You can use your blankets or blocks under your knees. Allow those sandbags to rest on the thighs. And when you're ready, you begin to gently recline back. Now here, we're going to just get nice and cozy. If you have a blanket, you can cover up, making yourself nice and comfortable. And we'll begin to just settle down, allowing ourselves a nice respite before we go on about our days. Taking a nice big breath in, heavy exhale out. Allow any tension in your body to settle. Again, let's make sure baby knows that they are a part of our flow as well, placing the hands along your bump. And remembering that light from beginning, we are going to envision that light around baby. And that light is just there to remind you that your baby is surrounded by your love, that the baby has their family's love, that they were conceived in love, and that they will be brought into this world in love. We're going to take one more final breath in through the nose, exhaling out. We're going to gently come out of this pose. If you have sandbags or props against your inner thighs, remove those. In this posture, you want to be a little careful coming out. Bring those knees together. We're going to turn onto our left side. And then when you're ready, you come up to a nice seated position of your choice. We're going to take one final inhale, arms come up, palms to touch. Your palms come down to heart center. Thank you for flowing with me today. I hope you enjoyed this nice hip opening practice. Namaste.